Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'd like to share with you how you can make long useful lengths of wood that you can use for things such as garden fences, shed bases, sheds, things like that, just out of scrap pieces of wood from pallets and offcuts of 2x3s and 2x4s, just by using a simple lap joint. So I have loads of scrap wood from pallets, 2x3s, 2x4s, things like that, and you can't always do much with them. So I think this method can be really useful. You can see here I've used this method to build fencing in my garden, and it saves quite a bit of money with the price of timber at the moment. And I've also used this method to make fence posts which are still rock solid in my garden, holding up my fence. If you'd like to see these videos, I'll leave links to these videos in the description box below. So getting started here, I've got two pallet wood skids. These are the things that you'll find on a pallet that hold all the slats on. And I'm going to start off by measuring, for this one, about 12 centimeters. I'm going to take off, and I'm going to make a line with a speed square. So you can also do this with 2x4s and 2x3s, and it works just fine. So using a combination square, I've figured out where the center is, and then I'm marking up, because the idea is to take away about 50% of the material on one side. So with a ruler now, I'm just making a line. And that's the material I'm going to be removing. So this is a half lap joint, and I'm just going to be using a handsaw with this. You could use a circular saw if you want, but it's easy enough with a handsaw. So once I've got halfway through, I can then move on to the long cut, and depending on how wide and how long your wood is, that will determine how deep you want to go. So I've gone about 12 centimeters. You could go up to 15 centimeters if it was a larger piece of wood. So now what I do is I offer up the first cut piece of wood to use as a template for the second one, and then I can remove the material on the opposite side. Again, just using a handsaw. Now I just need to check to make sure that it fits. Here I'm adding some pilot holes, one in the one side and two in the other. And then I'm adding plenty of glue to give a really strong joint. And if you're using this method for, say, an outdoor project like a fence, it doesn't have to be perfectly accurate. It helps to clamp these two pieces together now to get the screws in. And I'm just using some old rusty screws here, it doesn't really matter. And I've set the head of the screw just below the surface of the wood with the impact driver. So here you can see I've made 3 lengths, and this is for 3 cross members for a fence panel that I'm going to be making. You can see there are some gaps in the joint. So now I'm going to mix up some very fine sawdust from my sander and some wood glue to make a filler. And this will help to get into all the cracks, make the joint even stronger, and it will look better too. And I'm just going to go over the heads of the screws as well. Then once dry, I gave them all a light sanding down. And then to finish them off, I'm going to be painting them with some brown fence stain. This will also help to hide the join. And I added 2 coats. So there you have 3 nice long useful pieces of wood just made out of scraps. So as you can see, the join is not too noticeable when it's painted up. So that's about it for this video. Really easy to make long pieces of wood just out of scrap bits that you have lying around, and they're much more useful that way. You can use them for a shed base or a fence. I'm going to use these for cross members to make a pallet wood fence at my dad's house. So if you found this video useful, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.